takeaways did you get on the Republican debate? Who were your winners and losers?
Um, well, I would say, ironically, with the exception of his closing speech, I thought that Marco Rubio was actually a winner. And Donald Trump was a winner, and I think Ted Cruz is a winner. I think, in other words, if you were interested in them, you got some good information that said, I can see why I want to consider this guy. Now, you may not agree with them, but I'm just saying if you're thinking about him, you're warming up to their ideas, you probably were reinforced.
Well, little Marco seemed like he had won, at least in my opinion, he seemed like he had won the college you can be in the debate contest. And showed up. And basically his take seemed to be spend a lot of money on the military, deregulate everything, and have the rich pay no taxes. He says nothing, kick illegals out of the country. He doesn't say anything that resonates with regular people. Nothing.
Well, remember, he is like the diabolical one, Ted Cruz, in that he knows who he's going after.
Right, but he'll never get elected. He'll never get elected with his stance.
That's a different thing.
It's unelectable. I don't think people are worrying about, ISIS landing on the shores of California and.
Yeah, here's one of the problems that they have is because the thing was co-sponsored by Facebook. They got all of their direction from what people were talking about on Facebook. Now, and this is the fallacy of all of these polls and everything, because they're all patently skewed to begin with. So the problem was they all said, oh, what we're worried about now is safety and ISIS. And so that became, like, instead of the Fox Business thing, the main topic of the discussion, which was terrible. I mean, because we've already heard this before, and nothing really has changed. Well, I mean, the fact that ISIS attacked in Indonesia is
it was another big thing of who's going to get us in the war first, who's going to get us in the war fastest. And
Christie won that battle.
Yeah, well, Christie wins a lot of battles. That's one of them. Christie lied. Everybody lied a lot too. That was another thing. There's a lot of lying going on, and Cruz seemed to come off as a swarmy Southern preacher trying to snake oil all your money.
Yeah.
It seemed to me the big winner was Trump.
Well, because
he alpha mailed everybody.
Yeah. Well, he's got he's got all of the things going for him. He's an outsider. He doesn't take money from other people, so he's telling you what he's thinking. Plain speaking, that like they tried to trip him up on the Second Amendment. He was like, "No, I'm for the Second Amendment." Right. If those people. So he's got his,
He came across the most as, you know what, I'm going to lead this ship. Get out of the way, punks. I mean, like you want someone who's going to be a leader and get things done. I mean, exclamation point sounded nervous and like he had kind of rehearsed everything and just seemed like a frightened little man. Kashishi's just, well, when I've done it, he keeps saying, and I don't think anybody's even listening to him. I think Carson might have been stoned. Seriously, he might have been high. He seemed like they grabbed the stone guy backstage and brought him on. It seemed like they had Rubio was the college. Yes, you can be in a debate winner. With his practice talking points from the college debate team.
Yeah.
And then they got the stone guy and brought him on stage. And Cruz is the swarmy Southern preacher, trying to get you to tithe all your money to his crazy cause. And also too not preaching for, if you're military or policeman, I got your back. What about everybody else?
You've got
the military and the police's back. What about everybody else? Nobody brought up. I think Kashishi slightly brought up like student debt, nobody brought up income inequality. Nobody brought up any of the, when they talk about Social Security, they're talking about, well, we're gonna, how they're gonna gut entitlements. Their whole thing is, well, if you give the income creators money, then everybody gets money, which is a proven fact that it doesn't work. And that's like what little Marco Rubio, well, give the income creators money and start a war. That's what you got to do. And
remember, they're pandering to the people who are giving them the money as well.
Exactly. And the people giving them the money is a very small part of the population.
Well, again, it's the 1%ers. And again, it would be, they have the idea of what's good for, Wall Street is good for America, and it's not necessarily true. Now, ironically, if, for example, Plan 182 came out and all kinds of small businesses started up all over the place, it would actually be great for Wall Street. They just don't understand that.
Well, see, and that's the thing since Trump is not pandering to his 1% donors, he can say whatever he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
He can have whatever opinion he wants. It doesn't matter. He can say what he wants. He's not getting the script in. It's like when Cruz called out Rubio and go, okay, thanks for giving me your dump. Which is what it was, because the winner of the contest, he memorized all his talking points, and he just comes out there and spews what he's been coached. And it comes off that way. Is this guy going to be the leader of the free world? Come on.
He looks like a bad actor. Kind of. It's like if you're the director, and you are a director, so you would say, okay, Ted, let's redo that because it didn't come off quite right.
Oh, Ted or Little Marco?
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them. They're like, we can see you memorize this. You're not delivering the lines in a compelling way. It sounds programmed. It sounds like...
Ted has better delivery. Ted's got better delivery.
A little better delivery, but as you say, he's got sort of that preacher thing. But they overdo everything a little bit. He overdoes it. He knows which words I want to emphasize. Where...
If you are a white Christian, I've got your back.
Well, and again, the thing for me that I thought was a failure is here it's the Fox Business News Network. Why the hell didn't they talk more about business and growing the economy?
Because nobody has any ideas to grow the economy, and it's the same thing. Deregulate and have corporations and rich people pay no taxes and start a war and put money in the military. That's the same thing. The only person who goes off script is Trump.
Right.
And he was even coming up about throwing tariffs at China, which is not a right-wing thing, right. To not be like completely crazy free trade. And he doesn't care. He doesn't care. And the thing is that, he
said the New York Times gets everything wrong, which is kind of right, which they selectively publicized what he said.
Right. The other thing is you notice how Bernie, not even in the equation. They're all running against Hillary Clinton. And it seems that nobody even reads the news. I think they live in their own bubble. They have no idea what's going on.
Well, it's true, and I think it's true of every politician. However, I will say this, because I did watch part of the first one and then some of the discussion after it. They literally brought up Bernie Sanders' name, and they talked about him, why he's having success against Hillary Clinton.
Well, they brought him up to Kashishi. They gave Kashishi the question, and of course, they telegraphed it in the Chris Matthews dodgeball sort of way, going, he's a complete pink communist, Soviet Union loving. He's got a picture of Stalin above his bed, and an altar to Karl Marx. What is this guy going to do? And then Kashishi comes, he's going to lose in all 50 states. Of course, the Burn posts a tweet saying, have you seen the polls? Where the Burn is beating everybody, and all of them in national polls.
Well, and this was the thing that the sort of overview group did in between with Lou Dobbs in there, that one of his guests said, wait a second, Bernie Sanders is ahead of Hillary Clinton here. He brought it up. And so, but the script is that Hillary will be the nominee. I as I said, I don't know that that's a done deal.
Oh, it's so not going to happen now. It's so not going to happen. Everything is crumbling.
Crumbling, yeah.
It's not going to happen. And so the Republicans, these people, they're just not following the news. All they're doing is following their own path to power and glory.
Well,
they're not even paying attention. And yeah, the script has already been written. In the establishment world, the script has been written. And you know what? Trump and Sanders effed up that script.
Exactly.
You know?
And even, this Nikki Haley coming out and kind of throwing these barbs out at Trump. Then she was like, people were like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like way ahead in the polls, and he just goes up after you say that. So maybe I ought to apologize. I mean, so she's in like this no woman's land of what the hell am I now?
She's another example of giving the rebuttal and completely screwing everything up.
Yeah.
Remember, little Bobby Jindal did that. Little Marco Rubio drank his water, and then Nikki Haley comes out and just losing credibility with everybody.
Yeah.
It
was her Sarah Palin moment, if you will.
Right. So, once again, final analysis of this, Trump's numbers are just going to go up. He's just going to become a bigger monster. And then the question is when is the point going to get out? Because all the points people are just waiting they're going to throw their money at Rubio because nobody likes the diabolical one. But he is the diabolical one. So this thing is really screwed up, and the diabolical one has his diabolical allies, his diabolical Wall Street allies.
You notice he didn't say New York when he said New Yorkers. He didn't say Wall Street. He said New Yorkers, and Maria Bartiromo, who's in New York, said, "What does that mean?" Right? And he said, "Well, everybody else who's not from New York knows what that means."
And Trump was masterful when he gave him the freaking smackdown. Masterful, because he came out and says, "No, there's William F. Buckley, blah blah," and then he built up, and then he did the whole 9/11 thing, and he throws like you could have the smell of death, and he's saying all this stuff, and 9/11 is just like the total go-to to deflect anything New York now. But it worked for Trump, and it made Clinton look bad.
Yeah.
When she did it, like it's just like, oh God, pandering again. So.
Yeah.
So another Republican debate, and it's just going to help our friend Trump. Well, he's not our friend, but
yeah, the Donald is he's uncontrollable by the establishment Republicans. That's what they hate,
and the people love it.
Yeah, well, and that's the reason we had the whole Nikki Haley thing, because when there was a big backlash, like, wait a second, we're calling the guy out just because he says things are wrong. Hello. Things are wrong. They're screwed up. So I think the Donald he was like, he sent stuff out today, because I get the stuff every day from all the candidates. I haven't read it yet because, as you just discussed, we knew he won the thing anyway, but it was his to lose. I mean, he would have had to really screw up to give those other guys any hope, really. And they really don't have any hope except they're going to get more money.